weather is warming up to where it's tolerable to be out here without being so bundled up I can't move. So that means it is time to get working on Maud. I have a lot to do with her this year because my goal is to be traveling full-time by October or November at the latest this year. So there's a lot to do. But before I jump into that, I thought I would show you some recent scores, I guess, that I've gotten. So one thing is these 2x4s here. I got those from breaking down some pallets, which I have a lot more pallets I need to break down. So that's probably what I'm going to work on today because I only have an hour or so. But I've basically been breaking down pallets and saving the cross members, which I'll be using for flooring, walls, or small things like that. And then the 2x4s, see, these have little notches cut out, but those that were over there that I showed you do not. And so some of these are like this one here. It's just a straight 2x4 that doesn't have any notches cut out. Actually, this one does have notches now. You see that? But anyway, I can use those smaller bits as well on there. And I'm also looking for more that don't have notches. So those can be framing out the walls and things like that. Also, a friend of mine has a pile of lumber that she had once upon a time used to build some bookshelves. And when she moved, she took down the bookshelves but kept the wood. So she's given me all of that. I haven't brought it over yet, but that is also going to be coming in very handy. Let's see, what other supplies do I still have? I still have a couple pieces of plywood, and I have a couple, I think one or two of the foam board insulation that I used for the flooring. There's 2 left there. And here's my fridge. I need to get that out soon and check it out. I'm over here. These panels here are the roof plant. That's one of the roof panels that's been cut in half long ways. And so I'm going to be starting to take these and run them along where the deletes are, or where the windows were, to make deletes to fill in that whole space. And then eventually I'll be cutting those out and putting in windows, RV style windows. So coming back over here, that same friend gave me this old dresser with these really lovely little drawer pulls. And originally I was going to take it apart to use for building materials, but I might actually put it in my closet for clothing. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but it's a really nice old dresser. Needs a little cleaning up. Sand that down and give it a new coat of stain, but I think it could be really pretty. I do have the subflooring in all the way through the bus. So I am ready for wiring and plumbing and all of that stuff, and then insulating. And I need to get the heater back in, and obviously the driver's seat. And I need to, by the end of June, convert this into a rudimentary RV. The state of Illinois requires you to meet criteria. They have to be like, I think 4 out of 6 things that you have to have built into the RV for them to come out and inspect it and give the go-ahead for me to convert it, which is very high on the list because registration of a school bus for commercial use versus a school bus converted into a skoolie is about $500 difference. So I really need to get on that. So I'm not paying an additional $500 this year just to register this school bus. So my goal is to start working on things that need to be done. At the beginning of the year, I did create a chart in my bullet journal that my plan was to do something every day, whether it's an hour long or several hours long, just something focusing on and getting to my goal of getting this bus built out. But pretty much immediately after I created that goal, we had the first winter spell that hit with negative single digit temperatures, and that pretty much squelched anything I had going on. But before that, I was diligently working away. I got this rub rail off. As you can see, it's on the floor. So now when I take these metal panels, I can put them right up, and I'll rivet them in all the way across the top, and then I'll put the bottom rub rail back up and rivet across the bottom. And I also finished, well, not finished, but I got pretty far on this side with the rub rail. I'm still debating. You can see it's still up, but it's kind of drooping there where it's, because none of the rivets are in from all those windows all the way back. This window up here below the driver's window, I have not removed all of these rivets. I've got almost all of them out, but I'm hoping that this will be loose enough that I can just pry it away and not need to take it all the way off. But now that I've cut into them, I probably will end up having to, so that I can replace them. It's just that on the inside, I can't get to the backs of these rivets because there's another wall there that I'm not taking down. So I can't get to them to remove them easily. But as I said, with my bullet journal, I was trying to plot doing something every day to work towards the build of this bus. Whether it is breaking down pallets that I'll be using in the future for building, or researching my solar system, which is what I ended up doing a lot during the cold snap. So I pretty much have that all planned out. And also I need to plan out the plumbing system. And by planning, I mean like figuring out, for solar system, I needed to figure out all the wattage, how many solar panels I need, and how many batteries, and the inverter and converter, and DC to DC converter, things like that, because I do want to go with a 24 volt system, so I'll need to convert that down to a 12 volt system for use. But so all these things I've been studying and planning and putting together. So even though I haven't been physically out here working on the bus, I have been working on details that I need for the bus. I feel like I'm in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. They've completely surrounded the trailer and they're just out there, and the cats are looking out the window and freaking out. So one of the things that's been on my wish list for the bathroom is a stock tank, so I can have like a bathtub shower. And I have been looking at different sizes, and I kind of had settled on the 2x4 stock tank just because that seems to be the most readily available stock tank. But I really wanted something a little shorter because of the limited space. The 4-foot was just going to be kind of an inconvenience, but I was going to make it work. Saturday, I was on a whim, while I was cooking dinner, I happened to go on Facebook Marketplace and just see what's there, because every now and then I check to see if anything I'm looking for is available. And lo and behold, there was a stock tank for sale for like $100, which is a really good deal. And it was a 2-foot by 3-foot tub, or 34 inches, so close to 3 foot. And I got really excited because that was my sort of dream tub. So I messaged the woman, and turned out she lived like 2 miles away from me. So it was like a 5-minute drive to get to her house. And I was able to score this. It's about 34 inches long and roughly 2 feet wide, and I think 26 inches tall. So it's a perfect little bathtub / shower. for me to use, and I've placed it in the bus approximately where I want it to be once I start building out the bathroom. So ignore the 2x4s. I was just kind of measuring the height of all this because I was thinking about putting a raised floor all the way across. But if I do that, I'm going to be up in the ceiling, so that's a no-go. So, but anyway, so here's the stock tank, and it does have kind of a bowed bottom because she said she had water in there and it froze, and so it bowed out a little bit. So today I'm going to attempt to flip it upside down, take a rubber mallet and a piece of wood and see if I can kind of knock it back flat again. But it's in pretty pristine condition. It does have just a spot of water in here at the bottom because she said it did have water in it and she drained it out before I got there. But it's holding water, so it's leak proof, which is great. And it does have a drain that she says she's never used, so I'll probably just kind of silicone off that drain because it's a side drain, and I plan to put a drain in the bottom. But I'm very excited because this is going to be my shower / bathtub, and so I guess I'll walk you through kind of a layout of what I have intended. So back here in the very back is going to be my bed, and it's going to run long ways. It's a full-size bed, so it'll be just a little bit over 4 feet. So it's about to here, I think, wide. And then there'll be a wall here between the tub and this side of the bedroom. And in this space, I'm going to have all hanging clothing. So this whole area, so 3 foot, will be a hanging clothing section. And then I'll probably also down here mount my on-demand hot water heater. And then on this side, I will have a closet space here for like drawers and possibly a second hanging unit. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to put there, but this will all be closet storage here. And then this is going to be kind of a walkway through to the rest of the bus. And so then in the bathroom area here, we'll have a sink and composting toilet. And so the bathroom will end at the front of the wheel well. So it'll be fine for the sink to be up higher and the composting toilet to be up higher as well. And then, like I said, this will be an aisle. And then over this wheel well, I'm going to convert this into my solar closet, and that's where I'll put like my solar batteries, the converter, inverter, DC charger, all that stuff that I need for solar will be housed right there, I believe. So these are all sort of in the not 100% sure phase, but pretty close to it. And then, let me see, I'll probably need to turn the camera back around this way. So right here in front of the wheel well, there'll be a wall here and a wall here, and then I'll have a door that swings into the bathroom, or probably swing against the solar closet wall into the bathroom, so it can stay open, and that can kind of just flow back into the closet and bedroom area, or for privacy, you can shut that off. And then so this section here will be the living room and dining room. And I think the way I have it on my floor plan is my little round potbelly stove will be right here in this corner. And then right here will be my dining table and chairs. And then on this side will be my sofa. And then coming into the kitchen area, trying to remember again, I've flip-flopped it a few times, but on this side is going to be the sink because I want to keep all my water on the same side. So I'll have my buffet with my sink here, and that will probably take up about this much space. And then on this side will be the stove, and then a counter space, which is a wash stand. And I'm going to have it removable because right down here is my fuel access for the diesel tank. So I need to have that easily accessed. So basically, the counter that I put here, since it's a wash stand, I will attach it in such a way that if I need to access that, it'll be easy to dismount it and move it out of the way. And then refrigerator here. I might swap refrigerator and stove, I'm not sure. But I think I would rather keep the stove down there just because the fuel tank is here. And if I put the propane tanks there, it's easier to access it there than having to run it all the way across. So propane there, and then refrigerator here. The only downside about the refrigerator is I believe the door opens this way instead of this way, and it's not reversible. So that's a bummer. But initially I was going to have it all over here and flip-flopped, and that would have been perfect. But with that fuel access point, I need to be able to get to it, and having the big sideboard with the sink on it, while it would still be possible to move it away with all the pipes and the water pipes and things, that just puts a whole nother can of worms, plus having to run water lines across the floor. It's just better to keep it over here. So I can handle having the fridge open the wrong way and pull things out. It's not big of a deal. Right now mine is side by side, so it opens, the fridge door basically opens to block off the kitchen anyway. So that's what it is. So that's my layout, and then I'll probably have some sort of little wall here to block out the steps a little bit. Initial things right now, I have drawn out a wiring schematic for the outlets and lights that I want to put in. So I've kind of made a rough drawing of those placements just so I know where I need to put wiring. And then I'll be doing insulation. I have to cover and seal up the emergency hatch hole. In the bedroom and in the kitchen, I am going to put a max air fan, so that way I can circulate air around the bus flow to get that circulating. And I also would like to put in a skylight over the shower. I have one in my bathroom now, and I absolutely love it because it just adds so much light into the bathroom. I do hope to put a window in the bathroom as well, possibly. But it just depends, because that might be because of the these metal bars. I don't want to cut these metal bars if I don't have to. And I'm probably actually, because originally I had windows, 2 for the kitchen, 1 on either side, and I had 1 for the living room, 1 for the dining room areas, and then 2 for the bathroom, and 2 for the bedroom and 1 for the bathroom. But those plans fell through. I don't have those windows at my disposal anymore, so now I'm trying to find new windows to replace it. So that's a future me. I can live in here without windows for a while until I find some. So my biggest goal right now, by the end of June, I need to meet the state compliance to convert this from a commercial school bus to an RV. And so you've got to have 4 out of 6 things in your RV. So one is something to cook on with its own fuel point, a toilet with a separate receptacle, and I think a composting toilet will count. So if I can get the composting toilet roughed in, that would be great. At first I didn't think it did because the way it worded it, but talking to other people, they do in Illinois, I think, allow composting toilets to count because you can remove the waste and dispose of it. You got to have water with a holding tank, and I think it said a fill source from the outside, so I had to put in the water system, and then also like a sink, like a faucet for the water to run from, a power source that is not from the vehicle. So I do have a power bank that I could use. I have a Yeti Goal Zero, I think, and it's got solar panels, so that could technically count. And then a refrigerator, which I have a refrigerator that I can put in, and I think it will actually run off the Yeti that I have, so that's good. And a heat source, which with its own fuel. So I have a little buddy heater So I could count that as a heat source if I needed to. I also have electric heaters that I could plug it into the power bank. So there's options there. I think they want you to make sure that they're mounted. So I can't just throw them in here. They have to actually be secured down. So as long as I can, I basically want to get the water roughed in. And then with the tanks and everything. So those would be mounted. And I'm going to mount them in a way that I can, at some further point, unmount them, like for the sink. And so I can finish up, because I won't have the walls insulated yet or put up. I'm not going to have the ceiling insulated or finished. Probably won't even have the flooring done. I'll probably still be on subflooring. Basically, the goal is to just get it roughed in enough that I can have the inspector come out, inspect it, say yes, it passes, so that when it comes time to renew it before the end of June, I'm only paying $150 instead of $600. So that's my number one goal. And then from there, I will start continuing to build out. And I think at that point, I could even not have the walls up yet. I hope to have the walls up. Depends if my son can come and help me do that, because it's a two-person job. My older son is out of state at basic training right now, so he won't be back until August or September. So I'm hoping my younger son can come and help, and my daughter said she'll help a bit too. If we can get the walls up before then, that's great. If not, it's not number one on the priority list, but right now the priority is getting this bus inspected and converted to an RV. So for today, even though I don't need to have a bathtub done in order to have it pass the RV inspection, I want to get to work on that and get that leveled out. You can see there's kind of a little gap there at the bottom, so I'm going to flip it upside down and put a piece of wood on it and take my rubber mallet and see if I can kind of gently bend it back into place. I got to be very careful because I don't want to cause it to leak by doing that. A lot of banging that wasn't getting me anywhere. I emailed Balin Country, the brand that this tank is, and asked them what I should do to put it back into shape. And they suggested exactly what I was doing, using a block of wood and a mallet to hammer it back in. So I got frustrated and started banging a little harder, and I actually was able to bang it back into place. I think I did break one of the seals, which is something they cautioned that might happen, but they did recommend a type of sealant to use on it. So I have ordered that because nowhere local carries that particular sealant. So I'm waiting for that to come in, and once that comes in, I will seal it. I did go ahead and use some goof off and remove the label so that I can start roughing it up and painting it. And I'm not sure how much further I'm going to go on that until I get all the plumbing done, but I just was working on that while I had nothing better to do. So that's where I'm going to end my video today, and I will be getting back into doing a lot more renovation on the bus. As you see, I have a lot to do in a very short time to do it. This is mid-May as I'm making this video, so I have roughly 3 months to get everything done on top of my regular work. Thanks for watching my video, and hopefully in the next one there'll be a lot more progress.